Hi, Selena today, and this is your channel that's dedicated to you as an ESL instructor, an inspiring one, and also ESL students around the world. I am here for you, and I want to encourage you on your journey to improve your English skills for whatever reasons, for exams, for universities, and for survival in your homeland. Or if you just want to say, I'm taking a trip, I want to be a tourist in English-speaking countries, then that's great. I want to address my dear fellow teachers again, because there is a whole lot to English instruction. And I want to talk about a few different strategies that are used in the world of teaching English to ELLs, English language learners. And this is good if you are working with, say, English language learners at public schools, on the elementary level, middle school, high school, the university. And if you are traveling around the world, you are an instructor, an ESL, this will help you as well. You can be able to work more into creating different lesson plans and strategies to help your students better. So you may have heard about the sheltered English instruction. So what is sheltered English instruction? Sheltered English instruction is an instructional approach that engages ELLs above the beginner level in developing grade level content. So that's the key. Grade level content, area, knowledge, academic skills, and increase English proficiency. So it's taking the ELLs, the English language learners, above just their level of beginnings, right? Of just how to learn the basic, I call that sometimes, say, survival language. But it's now being able to teach them in their schools, on their grade level, how to handle the English language more academically, and to work up their skills and proficiency, not just on the beginner or general level of English instruction, but now also academically. So in sheltered English classes, teachers use clear, direct, simple English and a wide range of scaffolding strategies to communicate meaningful input in the content area to students. And this is also true if you're teaching adults in another country, ESL, because when you're doing one of the most popular methods is the communicative approach. And not everyone is a big fan of it, but it's teaching the language in the context of how it's going to be used, which really takes you away from just teaching your students how does grammar work and general grammar, but also now making it functional. So you're taking language, it goes into the content area, but then also it's used within context. So all of that is more like the communicative approach, which is the most popular today. There's been several different approaches to teaching English or any language. But right now, language, the goal is to teach language the way it would be used in everyday living. In everyday living and everyday conversations. Okay? And so that's one approach that is popular. Is a sheltered instruction effective? That's a question. The success of sheltered English instruction depends largely on two integrated factors. First, the teacher must provide modified instruction in English without oversimplifying the content. So there has to be some modifications made, but at the same time, you cannot make the content so simple that you take away from the content that you are trying to teach. An example would be, say, reading a comprehension. How do you really, say, modify that for English language learners, but not make it over simplified? There are certain goals that have to be met when we are reading a text, but also that next level of how are we comprehending it. Even if it's not our first language, how can you work with students to improve reading comprehension the way that it should be done, but without oversimplifying it? It says, second, to avoid a fossilization of language skills at the conversation level. The teacher must engage the student in a constant, concerted effort to develop and enhance academic learning. In other words, teachers must first simplify their discourse to make class content comprehensible, and then gradually make their language more complex, without sacrificing the quality of instruction or depth or comprehension in the process. Okay, so what has to be done here is that we have to be able to constantly have students engaged and to be able to create discourse that keeps them constantly engaged, but at the same time it has to be comprehensible. And sometimes if you're not working on their level, if you're not aware if they have any other, say, I would say even some students that have IEPs, there are other, say, learning challenges. You have to be able to work all of this within that framework. And the goal here is that you would make the language instruction complex enough that it can challenge them and raise up their level, but to make sure that it is still comprehensible. Because if you don't teach, say, the language above the level where someone is already, then how are they going to, say, advance? That's really true for anything. So you don't want to keep teaching over the same things, because that's the level that they're on and where they are safe and comfortable. You're going to have to raise it some and take them out of that level and bring them into a place where there is not as much of a comfort zone of understanding. But you know that you have made strategies for them to learn it and be assessed so that they can, say, reach it. It is comprehensible. It is attainable. And that's where the steps that we take as a teacher gradually brings them into a higher level, which is comprehensible for them. You know? If you want more information on this too, you can, let's see, you can get this information from Keith Baker and Adriana de Canter. That's Dekanter. And it was in 1983. This was what was actually recommended to be used in the schools in Canada for French, immersion programs. And so, that's just some information I want to give you as educators, inspiring educators of language, that there's a lot that we can do to improve our understanding of how to be better English language instructors. So you can look more into sheltered English instruction. There's a wealth of information online. I just wanted to give you just a little small morsel today so that it can spark in you more curiosity on how much more we can learn to be more effective English language teachers. If you like this channel, subscribe, like, and share, and we will meet again. Bye-bye.